Welcome to Survivor Nsfw, patron only special, and we got a special guest, a patron of ours. And I always say your name on our Q&As. I say Zach Hescheles.
And you actually nail it. One of the few to do it. So.
Really? Oh,
yeah.
I can't. Obviously, I can't say fucking poverty, but I can say Zach Hescheles. So we are, on this, crazy crisis, quarantined. Everyone is trying to stay safe and not spread this virus. So you live in New York City normally, which is, I've been paying a lot of attention, and my wife especially we've been really hardcore about following the rules. It's like a lot of my neighbors, like tonight, everyone's outside, and I see all the neighborhood kids like having play dates, and like we're like,
no,
yeah, like we're not trying to be assholes, but we're like, the whole point, if you read anything, it says don't have play dates, don't do shit. They closed schools to keep children who can be carriers. So I'm like, why the fuck are all my neighbors' friends hanging? I feel like calling them out and say, you guys are fucking dumb, okay? But I don't. But that's what I'm thinking in my mind. I'm glad this is a Patreon thing and they're not going to hear this. But it's irritating to me because what I've heard, like, that New York City is like, being hit really hard because there's really nowhere to go, nowhere to hide. There's so many people. And I heard today that a lot of people are fleeing, like yourself, like to Long Island or Florida or North Carolina or whatever.
Yeah.
And they're saying, hey, if the problem is if people flee to those places, stay put, because you don't want to like go to Florida or these other places if you're infected or whatever. So what is the, like, how crazy is it from your perspective of what's going on in New York?
So I actually was just talking about 20 of my friends from college. We all live in the city, and no one is in the city anymore. I mean, I left a week and a half ago. I just had like a gut feeling like it was going to get bad.
Yeah.
And I was going to go to Florida, like you said, but I didn't want to give it to my dad if I supposedly had it.
Yeah.
And he had a spare place on Long Island, so that's where I went. But it is nuts. I mean, everything's shut down. I mean, I've grown up in the city, and Fifth Avenue, it's empty. I mean, it's unheard of. No one's on the subways. I mean, that is, in my mind, like the capital of the world. Like, it is never sleeping, and there's just nothing happening. And to anybody who is leaving their place, I mean, you're just extending it, right? Because if one person leaves, they could give it to a bunch of people. So if everyone just kind of stays put, hopefully sooner than later it doesn't happen.
So were you like, did you have a sense of fear? You know what I mean? Like, were you scared about this whole deal and that's why you pieced out? Like, did you realize the severity of this after looking at what's going on in Italy and Spain and Europe and all these other countries? Like, shit, like this is not, everyone all of a sudden became a damn microbiologist and a virus expert when this came out, right? Oh, this is no different than the flu. Well, when did you become a fucking doctor? Based off of the scientific data, it's way different than the flu. So is there a sense of fear?
Oh yeah, big time.
To New Yorkers in general?
I think everybody was kind of taking it like a joke. And actually a few people joked around with me that like I had like tons of toilet paper and food stocked up like 2 weeks ago. And then my buddy texted me 2 days ago asking me if I could FedEx him a couple rolls because he couldn't find any. So, I mean, everybody took it like a joke. And then like, I think like a day later, everyone just got super scared and left. It's scary. There's a lot of fear for sure.
Well, you know what? It is scary, and we're all doing our part. Hopefully our listeners and everyone else to not do dumb things like have play dates among your friends. I mean, I know we all want to go out and do shit, but our podcast, like Johnny and I has talked about before, we are able to kind of have a little bit of a normal life by talking about Survivor, having a good time, and having this escape. So for me personally, it's like being able to be in the Survivor community has really, I think, helped me to cope with it in my world, because yeah, I mean, Johnny and I spent a lot of time doing things like this and everything else. So it's great to have you on the pod finally. And I'm fucking stoked that I got your damn name right.
Hey, listen, you guys always listen to the podcast is always like a nice break, and we'll get through it. But it's great to have you and Johnny once, twice, 3 times a week laughing my butt off while I'm working from home. So
good. Yeah, like last week when when Johnny's like talks about anal sex turd dropping on his wiener as the idle nullifier. I mean, sometimes I wonder, like, are we fucking like? I know it's Nsfw. We say shit, fuck, damn, and talk about long pubes and shit. But I wonder if there's that. Like at that last week, I was like, I don't get offended, but I'm like, man, I wonder if some people do. I don't know.
The feedback was tremendous. Like, it was one of our most appreciated Q&As. Zach, would you agree with that?
I thought it was hilarious. I have no complaints.
Okay, yeah. Good.
And Zach wasn't bothered that the first time you had anal sex didn't hurt.
That actually made me spit out my drink while I was at my desk.
It's so funny because like we do these podcasts, we do the Q&As. I don't ever go back and listen to what we do. So it's like I'm just sitting here in my basement doing the recording, and I know I'm on camera reacting and people listen to this shit, but sometimes it's funny to like think from the perspective of the fans, like listening to the shit that we actually say. You know what I mean? Like we just fucking say what we want, and then it's just like, well, hopefully that went over well.
Yeah, I've had so many people be like, if you really cared, why don't you release some Q&As on the free side for us? And I'm just like, because I don't want this shit out.
Yeah.
like we can do a Q&A that's half as funny, and I can put that out there and not worry. Like I think every single Q&A podcast that we do, I say at least one thing that can one day haunt me.
Yeah.
Another survivor hear it or whatever, and it's just like, fuck that. Like, this is our family. Like, we have a rule. Like, I think anyone that tries the Patreon that's just like, whoa, this isn't for me, they just leave.
Mm-hmm.
But the others are just like, I want to hear Fair Play, talk about shitting in a fucking bag of dog food.
Yeah.
I prefer it, honestly. I mean, you got Survivor, which is something I love, and then I get to hear interesting, funny things that honestly maybe everyone can't handle, but for the people that can, they should stay. It's awesome. So.
Right.
Yeah. So, as far as doing my part for social distancing and staying the fuck at home, so I'm a realtor and I sell houses, but I most of my concentration is on showing rental houses. And today alone, I think I got 30 fucking phone calls, and they all essentially said the same thing. Hey, I'm not working right now, so can I come by and look at that house? I'm like, motherfucker. I'm like, the whole reason you're not working is not for you to go look at fucking houses.
Right.
I'm like, do you like not working? I mean, I'm sure like the not working part is cool, but like, don't you like making money?
Yeah.
Because you going out looking at houses means another 2 fucking weeks of you not making money. Like this isn't, the whole reason we're on this lockdown is for you not to fucking run errands and see your fucking friends and find that like I have this friend, his name's Chris. We call him Dumb Chris. And he lives up to the fucking name religiously. Mm-hmm. So for the past 2 weeks, he's been messaging this group of us that live around here going, hey, this place you can still go at night to go to the bar. Like they're secretly open. And this place, and this motherfucker every night has found a place that's secretly open to fucking go to.
Really?
I get a fucking text yesterday. I'm in the ER. I have pneumonia. I possibly have corona. I'm
really?
Like, I'm sure you, dumb Chris.
Yeah, wow. That's crazy.
Dude, that's on you.
You want to know how that possibly happened? I don't know. How about every fucking text prior to this saying, hey, this place is secretly open and there's people here because we're all stupid.
Right. Yeah, it's not something to joke around with, man.
Yeah.
At this point.
And the places that are secretly open serving drinks, do you think that they're doing extra cleanup?
No.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. They're doing extra. Let's try to make some monies,
right?
And not clean up because we're drinking beers while we're working because we shouldn't be fucking working anyways.
Yep.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yes. So I am slightly politely explaining. No, motherfucker, I ain't showing houses. So and a lot of people are looking to move into a place right now, because they think if they get in right now, and they're correct, they ain't gonna have to pay rent for 3 months.
Nope.
Because I can't take you to court for eviction.
Yeah.
So they've stopped that. I had some people that didn't pay rent in January, so I took them to court in February, and then their eviction was on Monday of this week. And the paper, they had already been served, everything, like all that had to be done was Monday morning at 9 a.m. I meet the deputy and make sure that no one's there, and I can change the lock. That's it. That's all that needed to happen. Everything done. And the governor said on Friday of last week, no more evictions. So, which I'm more than cool with, which means no more paperwork coming in. And our city attorney translated that in his own way to be, well, you can't go on Monday. It's just like, well, this ain't, like, I understand why the governor said that. And I support, these are challenging times. There's lots of people not getting income there. I'm not here to be Scrooge. But this ain't based on this shit. These motherfuckers that didn't pay rent in January didn't know the word coronavirus.
Mm-hmm.
So, and these motherfuckers in January were already 3 months behind. Then they really didn't know the word coronavirus.
Yeah, right.
So I'm like, just show up Monday morning at 9 a.m. and let's be done. So, so 3 more months they'll be sitting there. So rent free. Yeah. So people are scrambling to get into somewhere because they know they don't have to pay once they get there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, speaking of the coronavirus, we have a question from Chris Crawford. It says, a brief fanfic from each of you. How did Harvey Weinstein contract coronavirus, and a bet between the two of you on how long it takes for him to kick it?
Yes.
So what you have some peek behind the curtains on this, Johnny Fairplay?
Well, yes, much like in middle school, junior high, and high school, I would have other people do my work for me, and such is the case this evening. So my good friend Scott Brooks, he's the guy that owns the rights to the song "Who Let the Dogs Out."
Yeah, right.
And Scott likes to text me often with like 8-paragraph texts, and I reply back, okay, because I don't write anything. Like I don't give a fuck. Mm-hmm. And so I messaged him last night. And I called because I didn't even feel like writing the question because it was too long. And I go, hey, you love writing shit for no fucking reason. I do a Patreon Q&A, and here's the first question. I was like, will you do my homework for me? He goes, I would love to. Really? Yes. So the guy that owns Who Let the Dogs Out, who is about to get fucking paid, that new Trolls World Tour, like that's the entire commercial, and one of the themes of the movie is Who Let the Dogs Out.
Oh wow! So he'll get big time royalties off that, huh?
Yeah, he's loving life there. And Netflix is about to release a documentary on Who Let the Dogs Out, because it's this whole big thing where there's a lot of controversy behind it, and he refused to be a part of the documentary.
Wow,
really?
Yeah, because the guy's been working on this for like 8 years. And the guy had reached out to him in the past, like way before it had gotten, close to even going to Netflix or anything like that. It was really low budget when it started, and it's built its way up. And he when he talked to the guy years ago, he saw the negative direction he was going with the storytelling. And he was like, fuck that. He was like, why am I going to help you do this negative story about this?
Yeah.
So he let his lawyer speak on him and his partner's behalf on this. And allegedly, from what he's seen, his lawyer doesn't come off well, but he's like, I don't give a fuck, because Netflix had to pay my friend to use the song for Netflix.
That's funny.
All about the money.
Yeah. So, but he goes, I'm not in it. But this is that guy. So here's what he wrote. So here you go, Chris Crawford. This is and Chris, you might my friend Scott was at the Durham show. So if you saw him, he was there with me. So here we go. Harvey. This is so elaborate, it's ridiculous. And it ends extremely vulgar, I assure you. Harvey, the guard yelled, "You've got a visitor. Get your fat ass moving." Harvey lumbered to the visitor's room in handcuffs, only to be greeted by two large, tattooed white power inmates. "I'm Bucky," the short one said. "And I'm Lucky," the tall one said, coughing into his hand. Oh. "And you're unlucky," the guard said, the upper parts of a tattoo sneaking out from the top of his prison guard uniform, just grazing his neck. "Where's my visitor?" Harvey said. He asked, where's his visitor? Bucky said to Lucky. "This motherfucking place is on shutdown for coronavirus, and this motherfucker's asking, where's his visitor?" Bucky fiddled with his nose, holding back a sneeze. "You're not the brightest one, Harvey, now are you?" Lucky said. "You're about to be visited. That part's true." He don't even know how true that is, does he, Lucky? Does he? The guard pulled up on the cuffs, and Harvey screamed in pain. "I'm one of you guys, I swear," he said. "Please don't hurt me." "Please don't hurt me." "Aw, that's so sweet," Lucky said. "We're not going to do anything to you you haven't done to anyone else." "Don't you want to be safe in here?" "Yes," Harvey said. "Well, just go along with what's going to happen, and you'll have a role in our argument, and y'all have your role in our organization all mapped out. Y'all be safe and well be taken care of. Now just open your mouth, pussy," Bucky said, "and eat this tossed salad for daddy." And that's how Harvey Weinstein caught the coronavirus.
Oh my God.
Matt, your turn.
Oh, that's funny.
I don't think you can top that.
Yeah, no. Yeah. Oh my God. And so I wonder how long it took your friend to write that shit. He just typed it out to text message you or what?
Yeah. This is a normal text message from Scott. This is nothing.
God.
Is that awesome?
Yes, it's awesome. That's awesome. So
I, for the record, have never written fanfic. So it's really good that I passed the buck on this, and I'm glad that Lucky and Bucky can assist. And apparently, the Aryan security guard that was in on the assist.
So and a bet between the two of you on how long it takes for him to kick it.
Ooh. Oh, I next week.
Wow.
Yeah.
How long's he had it?
Well, they announced last week, so I mean, what's it? It's about 2 weeks. If 2 weeks, if they fix you.
Yeah.
I mean, you think anyone's in a hurry to fix that motherfucker?
Nah. So I say 5 days.
Ooh.
Okay. So you fucking prices righted me.
Yeah.
$1 bullshit or $1 or less or
well,
whatever.
So 2 days less. So
okay.
It's the fucking man crazy. This name Cable Brandon. Is this a new patron?
No. Well, actually, yeah. He's in Australia.
Oh.
Okay, cool. I don't recall seeing Cable's name before.
I've been chatting with him for years. So long time Survivor fan and fan of
Cable Brandon, is this just you and Matt's opinion, or is this from a polar ranking? I'm assuming he's talking about the top 10 worst winners that we did.
Yeah.
It was not a ranking. It was literally, we just looked at a list of all the winners to refresh our memories, and then just
no. Not all the winners. Tommy Sheehan was not listed in the list.
Oh, yeah. He wasn't. But yeah, it was just based off of Russell, Hans, myself, and Johnny just kind of, going through and giving our picks, all in good fun too. I mean, a lot of people are friends of ours, and it's fun and entertaining. And I imagine, Zach, it's probably for you guys just to I wonder who they would say. And if, it's probably fun to, even fun for me to be like, oh, wow, Russell Hans was kind of similar to what Johnny and I were thinking, and vice versa. I'm assuming as a listener it'd be kind of the same.
Yeah. I mean, it was really, that was one of my favorite podcasts. I knew
a lot of people are saying that it was their favorite podcast.
I knew Russell's first was going to be Natalie. I mean, that was a given, but I mean, my list is similar to your guys's. So, I mean, it was funny. I enjoyed it.
Well, peek behind the curtain, because that's what we do here.
Yeah.
I reached out to shamed, disgraced winner, Chris Underwood, earlier today, and asked him to join us for the regular podcast tonight, and he politely declined.
He did?
Oh yes. Very Chris. Much so. Yes. And but an additional peek behind the curtain, actually, technically two peeks.
Yeah.
Next week we will be joined by Tommy Sheehan.
Oh, awesome.
On the regular podcast.
Yep. And the following week we'll be joined by Lex.
Cool.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. So what exactly did Chris Underwood say?
Let's see.
Does he do any of these things, Chris Underwood?
I think he's kind of removed himself from the Survivor community because he got a lot of negative feedback.
Now, what's your thought, Zach, on his
win?
So I think that he should own it. I mean, it was a bad theme, but it was the theme, and he took advantage of the theme.
Yeah.
He is and in my opinion, he's like one of the bottom winners. But if you win, you win. But he's definitely down there. But if I was him, I'd own it. I'd be like, yeah, I won in a really crappy way, but I won. You didn't. I'd have fun with it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Versus running the other way and just being like, peace out. I'm over it. Like he could have just. Yeah, he's we Johnny was relentless to him at Hearts of Reality.
I need to post that video somewhere. The fucking ping pong, it was so bad. Oh my god, like literally for 10 minutes straight. I'm just like he stops the ping pong. He goes, this is the fucking definition of a fucking troll. He was like, this motherfucker is, and finally he comes here. He's like, that's it. I quit. I'm not fucking playing, and just leaves the fucking. So he was playing Mike Holloway, right?
Mm-hmm.
Him and Mike Holloway were playing. It was a moment. So no, I messaged him. I said, want to join me and Matt for this week's season 40 pod. We record right after the episode airs, and no reply. And but he saw it, and then I put, is that a maybe? And then later he put, hey, sorry, I'm a no, but thanks for thinking of me. And then I did a teary face emoji and put, are you watching this season? Which once again he saw, and no reply.
He never replied back to that.
So if I'm him, I would jump in the front of the podcast, leave 2 minutes in, and then hop in for the last question and full circle it, just like the show. Fun with it, right?
That's what I should have said. So, but Tommy Sheehan was well aware of our top 10 worst winners, and he reached out and said, how did I do? And I wrote back top 5. He goes, I knew I wouldn't let you down. He was so proud of his move. So, but I explained to him, I was like, because I was just like, hey, are you watching Australian All Stars? And he was like, no. He's like, I don't know how. So I sent him the way. He was like, oh, thank you so much. I was like, honestly, if they do a US versus Australia, I would campaign to have you out there with me. And the difference is you would get to play Survivor. And he was like, I would love to be able to play Survivor. So because he didn't, like, you know, if you go back and watch his, I mean, like, you know, it could be, you know, just words, but I truly believe the fact that he never wanted to make himself a target. He wanted to get to the end. And once he got to the end, he knew he could physically and potentially mentally beat anyone else that was left with him.
Mm-hmm.
And he did.
Yeah. And it was very bland. It wasn't like exciting end to the season at all.
No.
And the season didn't deserve an exciting end.
But you know, but he's one of those people that, you know, he didn't get, like, his goal was to bring $1 million home to his family, and he did that. His goal was not to make great TV. So would he love to? I mean, because I've talked to, he's a funny dude. So he's actually, you know, not the snore fest. You know, I pick on shame disgraced winner Chris Underwood, but he's an awesome guy too. So, but it, like, you know, if you go in and that's your modus operandi, like, you know, kudos to you, man. Like that's what you could and should do.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't do that.
So Tyler, this question might be outdated at this point. He says, if we already sent Matt a Blue Chew picture, do we have to send another one for the lawnmower contest, or can he just measure using the picture already sent? Don't send me any pictures. Yeah. I mean, don't send me any pictures unless you have dreadlocked pubic hair, which I think would be pretty funny to see.
I hope they do send you that.
So don't send hashtag super hard dicks to @Matt Bischoff.
Yeah, no, send them to @Zach Hescheles.
Coming your way.
Oh, I love it. Jake Hunt says, Johnny, a couple weeks ago you said you had a good Dr. Will and Boogie story for the next Q&A, and I'm here to remind you about it.
I don't know.
Do you?
Oh, fuck yeah. Oh, Jesus Christ. Fuck. See, this is why this show is not for free.
Yeah, you're right.
Because like this right here, I mean, all right, so fucking A. All right. Let's not get ourselves in trouble here. All right, so I'm in San Antonio for a grassroots soccer charity event. And it's 10 reality stars and 10 World Cup soccer players.
Mm-hmm.
And we're playing soccer. And so I get there the first night, and my roommate is Big Tom. I had never met Big Tom at this point.
Wow.
And Big Tom is late to arrive. So the only people that I find at the hotel are Mike Boogie and Dr. Will. And so we go to the main part of San Antonio. Have either of you guys been to San Antonio?
No.
One of the coolest places. There's a like their whatever their I guess their downtown thing or whatever. There's a stream that goes around the entire thing, and there's gondolas that go around. I mean, it's fucking beautiful. Like, you would never guess in a million years that one of the most beautiful places on the planet is fucking San Antonio, Texas.
Yeah. Right.
Just like insanely, like all these little wine bars and stuff. So anyway, so it's me, Dr. Will, Mike Boogie, who I had previously met at after a night at the Playboy Mansion. Yeah. And so after that we became friends. And so we go out to we go to they had a place, Howl at the Moon. It's a dueling piano bar place. And so we go there and we're just like, hey, they're like, $10 or $20. And I'm like, no. I'm Johnny Fairplay. This is Mike Boogie and Dr. Will. We're not paying. And he was just like, oh, well, not only are you paying, there's also there's no seating. Like we're at capacity. So I don't even know when I'm going to get to you and take your $20.
Yeah.
And I was just like, well, that's not going to happen. So anyway, so I do convince him not to charge us, but we are still without seating.
Mm-hmm.
So we make a walkthrough and we see these two larger gals sitting at a table for 4, but it's just 2 of them. And it's not that they require 2 seats each. They weren't. It's they just they were just at a table for 4, and it was just the 2 of them.
Mm-hmm.
So they see us walking. They're like, "Holy shit! Holy shit! Johnny Fairplay, Chilltown! This is crazy! Come over here! So anyway, so they get us another chair. We sit with them. Beyond nice, so sweet. I mean, they are salt of the earth. Like it was so awesome of them to invite us to sit with them. You know, we actually had a place to sit. They were cool. We left there, went to another place. We invited them to come with us. As I said, they were very friendly. One of them was a hairstylist, and Mike Boogie was like, "Oh my God, I really need a haircut. I got this thing. We're doing the big charity event tomorrow, and I didn't have time to get a hair." And she goes to her car, gets her fucking barber scissors, goes back to Boogie's room, cuts his hair. Then we go out and go to some more bars. Fun night.
Mm-hmm.
So the next day so that night I get back to the hotel room. I'm fucking hammered. Big Tom's there. He's like, "Fair play, I'm Big Tom." And I'm like, "Hey." And if you've ever heard the Big Tom podcast, later that evening, a couple of ladies of the evening come to my room. Big Tom is watching, possibly filming in the corner. And he's like, "Fairplay's got a hammer. Look at he's spinning them. He's spinning them on that. Look at that thing. Oh my God." He's doing commentary. So the next morning, we're riding on the bus other people had gotten there after us that night. They'd gone out. So there's lots of hangovers going on this big bus taking us to the venue. And so, but it's like a 30-minute bus ride. And, you know, and everyone's bored. And Big Tom's like, "Oh, I got something to show y'all. Look at that. Look at Fairplay's hammer. Look at here." So he's showing him the video. And Jenna Maraska's like, "Look at that." That's something. So anyway, so we get to the venue, and like me and Boogie, we're taking turns throwing up on the fucking sidelines. It's a fucking mess. But it was crazy. So we get there, and it's 10 reality stars, and we all have like these jerseys that are one color. Against 10 World Cup fucking soccer players, like Rambo, like I mean, names you fucking heard of, like some of the greatest soccer players of all time, right? Are playing against us.
Mm-hmm.
So we have this guy from, I want to say, Young and the Restless, maybe, perhaps. I can't remember. Anyway, he was a college athlete. So anyway, so we're just like, who gets the ball for? And the World Cup players are like, "You can have the ball first." I'm just like, how is this even fucking fair? And Ethan's like, "Don't worry about it. It's gonna even itself out." I'm like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, so the ball's there at midfield. And the guy for Young and Restless fucking runs up, kicks it, makes a fucking World Cup goalie off
He
the fucking
he makes a goal.
Kick from field.
Wow.
It was the most powerful, amazing fucking, like, it was so incredible.
That's awesome.
And they're looking to like, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah.
But that's followed by, let's fucking punish these motherfuckers. Okay.
Yeah,
and they do. And so they're beating us pretty good. You know, they're beating us up a little bit. You know, they go up like 2-1 or whatever. And then they eventually they'd run into you, take off your jersey and give you theirs.
Oh, that's cool.
And then you balance, they would balance out the teams like that.
That's cool.
So it was really cool. And so at eventually Big Tom, or he might have been the goalie the entire time, but Big Tom was the goalie. and Rambo set me up for a Pele kick. He comes there, he's like, he goes, I'm going to put it exactly where it needs to be. Your body will do the rest. And it fucking did. And it was the most amazing thing that my body has ever done in its entire life. Kicked a fucking Pele kick. Hit the fucking crossbars. Big Tom did not block that motherfucker. Hit the fucking. I'm like, motherfuck. It was so. It was as an athlete that I dream I would be. That's the closest I'll ever be, and it was really amazing. And then so fast forward to Monday, and this is at the time of MySpace. So Monday morning, I get a friend request from one of the two gals from Howl at the Moon that let us sit with them. Mm-hmm. And I hadn't had a chance to approve the friend request or whatever. Minutes later, there's a TMZ story that hits. Johnny Fairplay and Mike Boogie of Big Brother fame go hogging in San Antonio. Oof. The two wager to see who can find the fattest female in the downtown city limits of San Antonio, Texas.
Wow.
That's no good.
None of this is fucking true.
That sucks.
So I call Boogie. I'm like, what the fuck? And he goes, oh, it's Dr. Will. He fucking sent that shit in. Is he great or what?
Oh my God.
I'm just like, she just sent me a friend request on MySpace.
Holy shit. How did that end?
I didn't think it was cool because I thought that was beyond nice what they did for us, and it wasn't true.
Right. Yeah.
You know, I mean, like I'm a villain, but like that.
You're a villain, but you're not a bully dick.
Yeah, I thought that was a bully dick move.
Right.
I mean, there is humor in it. Do not get me wrong.
Right.
But like if they had been, if they had not been nice people, like I'm okay with it. But like they were beyond nice. I mean, they gave fucking Mike Boogie a haircut.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Did you end up becoming friends with him on MySpace? I wonder.
I don't remember. I mean, I'm sure I did. So
yeah.
I did. Like I accepted the friend, and I apologize. I kind of just like Dr. Will's a dick. And, so
and they're like, yeah, fuck it.
What I take out of that is I never thought I'd hear Johnny Fairplay say the most impressive thing his body's ever done was on a soccer field and not a bedroom. So,
I know. I didn't have Blue Chew back then. I would have made.
That's awesome. So let me see the next. We have Rico Argentieri. I hope that's that right. Have you contacted Riley Reid about coming on the podcast for a live Manscaped yet?
I'm hoping it's this one.
Fuck.
And Cable says, I'm down for that.
Yeah, me too. No, my love for Riley Reid is like her fucking Instagram stories. Like she does one of those like OnlyFans things or whatever. And like, I hope she's not doing it now, but she was just going going to McDonald's and just asking guys, could she see their dicks and then just blowing them in the bathroom
on her Instagram story.
Yeah.
Like real Instagram or a private Instagram?
Well, her Instagram show it's just like swipe up to get to my OnlyFans, but you see the whole setup, and it's just and she's just random motherfucker, and I'm just like,
people are crazy.
I'm not a big fast food guy, but if I were in wherever she is, I would be hanging out at McDonald's. I'm just like, hey, I was thinking double fries. What's up? Yeah. Are you familiar with Riley Reid's work, Matt?
Well, I'm familiar when on the podcast you said I was saying I like shaved pussies, and you're like, well, dude, then you're like, that's considered old school, Matt. You need to go. You need to go to Riley Reid Nude. Yeah. So that's what I. That's what
you haven't done any further research.
No, I haven't.
Zach, are you familiar with the Riley Reid?
I'm not familiar with Riley Reid.
there you have it. She is a winner. Wow.
So Mike Lawrence, he says worst accidents or injuries of survivors not to make the show. Like I'm assuming he's saying like something happened on the island and they didn't air it. Is that what he's saying?
I guess like the only one that I'm aware of. Okay, well there you go. In 16, what treat did Alexis manage to yoink from production the night she messed her knee up, and why is she so naughty? She is well, no, she's not naughty at all, because if you watch 13 Reasons Why, she does the bonus content at the end on Netflix in which she says that all of that is horrible. So she's the exact opposite of naughty. So no, James and Alexis were going. So on Micronesia, the production was on the same island as us, and they just had it kind of like fenced off.
Mm-hmm.
And but they weren't there at night, and they had like one person in charge of watching production stuff, and that person liked to sleep at night instead of doing the only job he was paid to do.
Wow.
And so the only items I know, I know they went more than once, but I know for sure James got Gatorade, red Gatorade, because if you look, his tongue is red on the from drinking red Gatorade, and Funyuns. Which Funyuns are hard to find in America. So this motherfucker to find Funyuns in Micronesia is a huge score.
Yeah.
So but I know of those two items for sure. So, but what happened was, as I said, they went multiple, at least 2 nights that I'm aware of, maybe even more than that. But I know they went more than once. And it was on a following night that they went, and they were eating and drinking, whatever. As I said, there's not like booze out there. It's just like Gatorades and waters and stuff like that, and then snacks. So, but whatever it was, woke up the security guard. And so running back to camp, that's when she twisted her knee, and she had to leave the game, and they had no footage of her injury that caused it. Yeah.
Well, it's crazy. I should know this because this is Survivor Caramoan, but I do not think they showed this, and it was very similar to the Mike Scoopin thing. I mean, not to the degree, but so I was sleeping, and it was at the middle of the night, so they have like one lady that's literally there. Why? There's not a whole camera crew. There's just like one person.
They didn't even do that on Fans versus Favorite. They set up a camera on like a little tripod.
Okay.
And then as soon as they left and got on the boat, I just turned the camera the other way. I was like, go fuck yourselves. You ain't filming nothing.
Yeah. So this woman was there, night duty. So I get woken up. My friend Michael Snow was tending to the fire in the middle of the night and was, blowing on the fire and got lightheaded, and he passed the hell out. And he was smart enough. He knew he was passing out. So he did something to make sure he didn't pass out face first in the fire. So he leaned the other way and face planted right into the fucking sand. So Reynolds and I were freaking out, and so Michael's got like blood and sand. His face is all fucked up, and we're trying to clean him up, but Michael's kind of a little bit delirious, and his eyes start like rolling back in his head, like he's going to pass out and shit. It was real scary. And cause my dear friend, and I was like, dude, what if Michael gets, medevac? And I know we were doing the cameraman watch-alongs, but I don't think any of this shit was on film that they're getting. So it was a very serious thing, and his face ended up healing and stuff. But yeah, his lip and face is all cut up, but it could have been very bad. And that's how quickly things can escalate in the game of Survivor from an injury. I'll tell you another quick story that almost fucked my leg up. I had the machete. We had one machete, and it wasn't the sharpest of things on the planet.
But well, Matt, be honest. It is slightly less sharp than a butter knife.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Just for those of you wondering at home, yes, if you have a butter knife in your kitchen drawer, if you could dull that up a little bit, it would be almost as sharp as the machete that they give us.
Yeah. So I was just walking down this trail, and I was chopping shit, and there was some branches of almost like a honeysuckle type tree above me, and I went to hit this branch to just cut this branch down, but when I hit it, whatever the wood was my knife didn't go into the branch. I was expecting the knife or the machete to go, halfway or something through the branch. It didn't. It almost bounced off, and the way so it bounced off and flew out of my hand, and the machete came down, and the tip of the machete is sharp, and it landed on my thigh and cut a little tiny. I moved out of the way. All I'm saying is that knife could have really penetrated my leg really bad, and
or given you no reason to have Blue Chew.
That's right. But the funny thing is I believe my swim trunks that I wore that are upstairs, I believe have a little tiny cut from where that machete hit. But it freaked me out because I'm like, dude, it takes one that could have fucking landed on my toe. Game over. You're fucked. So Survivor's the real deal. I mean, but the Michael Snow, passing out because of the fire was a very scary situation, and none of that shit ever got aired on TV.
Wow.
So, Preston Ritter, first of all, patron for a year, right? This week, just yesterday. Congrats!
This is a big day for him. Patron for a year, and I think that's who won the Manscaped. Yeah.
Damn.
What a day.
So
Matt oblivious. He just Preston _. I don't know.
Well, I see him. I don't know what his name was on Insta. I see Preston Ritter on Facebook, but I don't.
Sure.
I didn't know. So, which male Survivor player would you be willing to go gay for? And then Cable says Preston Ritter after Johnny has to be Colby. So
Matt, you first, then you, Zach.
I'm in. All right.
Let me see. Maybe Fabio could with his long hair could almost be like a chick. No,
he has short hair now.
Yeah, he does,
and he doesn't have any money left.
I was.
That's a bad pick.
I don't know if there is one.
Oh,
if I have to. Johnny,
well, I mean, I know there's more than one. If you had to narrow it down to one, Matt.
Well, Johnny Fairplay, because I know you could suck a good dick if you had to.
Oh wow! Stop it! You're gonna make me feel like I ate a Blue Chew.
Oh man!
Oh fuck!
I think there's one really obvious. Well, no, Zach, you're next. Sorry.
Oof. All right. So I think since we're on the topic of Matt's season, I'd probably take a Reynolds because me and him hang out. He'd teach me how to get a super ripped body, and then hopefully be a platonic gay relationship. But yeah.
a sexless relationship. Those are out there. I've been in a few. Not currently. So, well, actually, this minute, yes, because we're fucking quarantined.
Yeah.
But otherwise, no. The obvious answer is Michael Yeager. Let's be honest here. Other than the fact, I wish God had kind of evened the playing field and given him like a 3-inch cock. I am a little worried about that 9-inch machine that he has between his legs. Google it, people. It's
9-inch machine. That's funny.
Yes.
Carter Malice says, if a Survivor season were to be held somewhere within the United States, where would be the best location? Probably somewhere in Hawaii.
No, incorrect.
No. Where would it be?
Survivor Las Vegas. Every contestant starts with a kilo of cocaine.
Oh man, that would be
radical. Where do you think, Zach, would be a good location?
I think Key West.
Key West.
Yeah. Down in Florida, weather's similar, and then when you get kicked out, just put them right back in Florida.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah. So I think the tribe buffs would be like pink and turquoise.
Exactly. It'd be great.
Yeah. have we ever had a pink buff? I feel like we have, right?
Pink.
I don't know.
I can't think of which one it was, but I feel like they're.
It's been red. I can't think of pink.
Okay, well maybe that's next week. Black guys, how cool is that?
Oh yeah, I have that buff. You sent it to me.
I sent you a different black buff.
Well, what black buff is the one you sent me?
Oh, Cambodia was pink.
Okay, there you go. I sent you a black look at the 40 seasons buff.
Oh yeah. Right. Okay. Yeah.
Have you got it yet?
Yeah, I did. It was in a big pile of mail because we get so much stuff from Amazon, and Tessa, my wife, keeps it in the garage for a little bit, and cut everything. Got rid of all the packages and stuff. And I was like, holy shit, I didn't even know this was here. So thank you, Johnny, and thank you, Buff USA.
Yeah,
and thank you. Johnny,
I was under no buff. Don't think buff.
Oh yeah, thank Johnny.
I chose to send that to you.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Johnny Fairplay.
Yeah.
So,
you know what? I'll take it back. I got one too. I would like to thank Buff.
Yeah,
Matt, you can't.
But I thank you. Okay. Well, the last and final question is from Zach himself.
Well, let him ask it.
Zach Hescheles asked the question.
So my question was, during this time of self-isolation and looking internally in yourselves, what would be your quarantine cocktail of choice, and what would be made in it?
I like what I said the name. I would call it beaver juice. And I would put Jack Daniels, coconut, and Coca-Cola, and it'd be North American hairless beaver juice is my quarantine drink of choice.
All right. Does the 0.1% alcohol in kombucha count as an alcoholic beverage?
I support it.
Okay. I would do. It's a shit quarantine kombucha. I don't know. Honestly, I feel like I shot my wad last week with the hit immunity nullifier. that was really good. And fix that. I think I can take a pass on. Like it's yeah, man. I should let you go last on that one, Matt. I feel I contributed up until that one, so it's okay.
So, how long do you think that we are going to be in this? I mean, obviously, unprecedented. This shit's never happened. It's literally like we're living in a movie. It's hard for me to really wrap my head around that this is actually happening. How long do you think this is going to really realistically go down? Do you think? Because I've asked Johnny this, and Johnny's like, "Well, I talked to
my Asian doctor, and then today I talked to Sex Dr. Mike for about half an hour." Mm-hmm. And Sex Dr. Mike is under the impression that we will be returning to normalcy in June, but he thinks that when that happens, instead of slowly integrating back into everyday life, that people will abuse that, and we will hit another cycle of this, a smaller cycle, but another cycle, and potentially another cycle after that. So he thinks we're 1 year away from absolute normalcy and definitely a cure by then. But he thinks step one normalcy is June.
Optimistically, I think like late May, June as well. But I also agree that until they have a vaccine or a cure in 12 to 16 months or whatever, it's never going to fully go away. You'll see little spurts, outbreaks. Yeah. But I can't imagine that life's not going to be somewhat normal in June. And I have to. No, you got to hope for it, and I can't wait for that first day. That's gonna be a giant party. Everyone's just having a good time. So,
but real quick, Sex Doctor Mike is submitting a potential vaccine.
Oh wow!
Tomorrow,
he's moving up my survivor ranks.
Well, I mean, think about what he did at the shooting in Florida, and now and just think if he solves Corona. I mean, Jesus Christ. I mean, he did put himself. I mean, I wasn't here to fucking correct course and smash his dreams. What he did refer to himself as a top 4 player.
He did?
With you.
Oh yeah.
You were very friendly that night, Matt. You gave him a pass.
Did he say top 4 player on his season or top 4 player?
I don't.
It's Sex Doctor Mike. He does numbers and he'll measure your dick. Send him a picture. He'd love to do the Manscaped judging.
Well, man, have you ever been on a podcast before, Zach?
I have not. This is the first time.
Wow. What'd you think? Did you have fun?
I had a lot of fun. Yeah. Thanks for having me. It was a pleasure. Yeah.
Is this just like when you're on chat roulette?
A little different. I have a shirt on.
I was about to say, I'm not wearing pants on this one either.
I wouldn't doubt that. That's awesome. Well, hell yeah.
Sticky chair.
Yeah, we'll have to have you on again, dude. And it was cool. And thanks.
And we're gonna have other patrons as well, Matt. We're trying to we're testing the waters here until somebody fucks up. We're gonna keep this going. So,
I'm glad to know I didn't. So
So I mean, if we just have to keep having Matt or keep having Zach to guarantee that we don't fuck up, we can do that. But we're gonna try to throw out a little bait here and there.
Yeah, that's fun. I like it.
We could have asked Preston because it was 1 year, but you know what? Too much good news today. Let's just, let's fucking quell that shit. Like we do that today. He's fucking gone tomorrow. He's like, hey, that's fucking downhill from here. I'm out of here. So
right.
Yeah. Maybe hey, Preston, 2-year anniversary. Hit me up. you're on the show.
Right on. Well, guys, it's been real. Thank you, Zach Hescheles. How do you really pronounce your name?
Hescheles. You say it perfect, but I love when you say it 2 or 3 times in a row.
Yeah.
It's a highlight for me too.
Yeah. Well, thank you, man, and we will see you patrons next time on another patron-only exclusive podcast. And stay safe and cheers and good night, everybody.
Woo.